Hello, I'm James Ingram. This video was digitized from a 1992 videotape series named V9202.
There's 4 steps to installing this magnetic block. Basically, installation consists of 4 fairly easy parts. Item 1 is to install the block in the track. Item 2 is to install a 1015U gap track or single isolating track somewhere in back of the block, which will define the slowdown section. Item 3 is to install track contact T2 in the track. This is a track contact that sets the block from the red state to the green state. And item 4 is to connect up to the AC power to the block. Assuming the engines have magnets on them already necessary to operate the block, at this point the layout with the automatic block in it is ready for operation. At this point, I'm going to go through those 4 installation steps and take this block that I've got in my hand here, which you can see is essentially disconnected from the layout, and I'm going to install it in the layout while the camera is running. As you look at the track layout behind me, you see I've conveniently left the openings to put the block in, but still hopefully it'll give you the general idea of how this installs in the layout relatively quickly and relatively easily. Step 1 on that previous installation slide or reminder, I guess you could call it, was step 1 was install the block in the track. So we'll do that right now. You can see where I'm putting my foot down. I've left the proper length gap in the track to put the block in the track. So let's do that. That completes step 1. Step 1, the block is installed in the track. Step 2 is put the 1015U section back behind the block to define the slowdown section. So let's do that next. Step 2. Here's our gap where the 1015U will go in the track. That'll define the beginning of the slowdown section. I'm going to put this piece of red cardboard that's labeled slow just as a reminder that that's where the slowdown section begins. One key item when installing this 1015U is to make sure that the gap is in the right rail as viewed from the direction that the trains travel. The block has the gaps in the right rail, so this has to have the gap in the right rail also, so the gap is on the correct side. If you accidentally were to turn this around and incorrectly install it with the gap in the left rail, you wouldn't have any slowdown section because you wouldn't have a slowdown block because the gap wouldn't be in the left rail where it belongs. So make sure this gap is in the right rail as viewed by the direction the trains are traveling in. And this length of the slowdown section, as I've installed it here, it's approximately 8 feet from the block back to the slowdown section. This is a sort of experimental on indoor display layouts. I usually start with a distance around 8 feet. But this can be made either shorter or longer depending on conditions, so it's kind of an experimental thing. Step 3 is to install the track contact T2 in the track. This is the contact that sets the block from red to green. It's right here at the moment connected by this wire, so I'm going to put that in the track doing step 3. That takes care of step 3, installing the track contact. That's right here in the track, and I'm going to put this piece of green cardboard labeled here that's labeled T2-on that just as a reminder that that's where the track contact T2 is crossed. It will change the block from the red state to the green state. And this position here is also experimental. I'm going to initially put it right next to the block, so hopefully I can put the camera up next to the block and you can see the engine crossing both the track contacts, but later on in the demonstration I'll move this track contact to several different positions. Step 4, the final step, is to connect the AC power to the block. So here's the, in my hand is the loose end of the RC Radio Shack wire with the RC connector on it. So I'm going to hook that up to my track power, which I've conveniently got another Radio Shack wire connected to the transformer. So now the block is now connected up with track power, and we can see that by actuating the track contacts. There's T1, which changes it to the red state, T2, which changes it to the green state. So at this point we're ready to put locomotives on the system and actually watch the block operate, which will be our next step.